Then I got busted, and my mom actually came and saw me in jail. Hello, and welcome to another video. A video by Guda, about Guda, for your entertainment. Like and subscribe. Hey, so this story is kind of going back a little bit because I didn't ever mix in what had been going on with my family. I told my story about my grandma the other day, but really I hadn't told much story about what my family situation was. So just kind of a quick overview of the situation from like the time I was an adult. It was pretty much like my mom went to Spain when I was 16 and my dad went to Alaska right around the same time. My dad went to Alaska, and then maybe about a year later my mom and my little brother both went to Spain. So I was there with my grandparents. My mom sent my little brother back to live with me. I was growing weed. Things weren't going that good. Told whole stories about how the weed was up and down and all this shit. So I ended up having to have my little brother go live with my grandparents when he was supposed to be living with me. Well, he went and moved in with my grandparents and promptly joined the Marines. So now he's gone in the Marines, right? So now there's basically just me, really not much connection. My mom moved from Spain to New York, and then I would talk to her once in a while, very rarely. Like I remember, I think she was around for like my 21st birthday. She came into town and we went and had drinks, and she like came over to my house with like this guy that she used to hang out with when she was married to my stepdad. And so then I didn't really talk to her much for years, and then all that shit happened, and then I was just off the radar. And then I got back in touch with my grandpa again, and then my mom, she came to town in between the time that I had gotten put on pretrial release and the time that I got busted, which that was maybe like 6 months difference or something like that. So, and in that time she had come to town, and I was balling at that point. I mean, I was driving Land Rover, and she was just like, okay. The last time she had seen me, I had cell phone. I mean, and a cell phone, when I turned 21, that's 26 years ago. The cell phones were like this big. I mean, it was no joke. What they called the business model, Motorola. And then there was the flip phone, and there's this big ass of a tank of a gray flip phone. So anyway, my really, the only times I really saw my mom was when I was, balling. Then I got busted, and my mom actually came and saw me in jail. I don't know how she figured it out. I think like I had been talking to her frequently enough to where then she didn't hear from me, that she just like called. Like, she has a really good friend that's a lawyer. So I'm actually in jail, and my mom comes sees me in jail, and I'm just like, I'd do it again. Fuck, I was rich and this close from retirement. So then I was pretty much talking to my mom in jail, and that's pretty much it. And then I actually I send her money, like thousands of dollars while I'm in prison, and I pay for her to come visit and shit, like fly her from New York to Vegas and put her up in a nice hotel, and pay for all her stay and all that shit. So I did that like 3 times or some shit. Oh, and then, then I got rolled up from the camp. That's a whole story I haven't told you yet. And I got sent to this other, and then I was at this other, like a low security prison with a fence and shit for the end of my sentence. And when I was there, she made some dumbass comment, but it was funny because oh, Martha Stewart this, Martha Stewart that. She just loved everything Martha Stewart this, love Martha Stewart, oh, Martha Stewart, Martha Stewart. And then, like, everybody in jail must be stupid because you got fucking busted. And then Martha Stewart gets busted. Huh. So anyway, we start to have fucking, like, a little bit of a falling out there. So, I don't really remember the timing on all this stuff, but I get a phone call from the prison, and they're like, you know, I get a special phone call outside of the normal phones. Like the normal phones, you're like limited on how much you can use them and how long each phone call will last and all this shit, right? So my grandpa died while I was in prison, and my mom called me up to tell me that. So we were talking on the phone. There was a counselor sitting there while I was talking on the phone, and then I got out of prison, and my little brother was having issues with his baby's mama, like crazy shit. Like she was fucking lying to the cops and shit about him, right? And she ended up just fucking ditching the kids and going and turning into some kind of meth head full time, and just like I don't know. I mean, that was like. So anyway, he had a couple kids, but at that point when I got out of prison, she had the kids. He was fucking miserable, and he had actually somehow got a hold of, I think my mom had a phone number for my dad up in Alaska or something like this. So my little brother had been talking to my dad. And I think he was trying to get money out of him because my dad ended up giving him his life savings, which was $1,200. I'm like in the halfway house, kind of, like on house arrest kind of situation towards the end of my sentence. I'm just kind of jumping ahead and telling like my entire adult family story because I might as well just complete this story now rather than break it into and wait until I'm caught up on the other stories, because I'm just going to get this up till current. So I'm just getting out of prison. My little brother's hanging out, coming over to my place and just telling me fucking horrible stories about kids and all this shit. So it's depressing. But he's been talking to my dad. Then my dad has to come down from Alaska to Portland because Portland has some kind of regional military or something, because my dad was in the Air Force. So you got lifetime medical, and basically, long story short, he drank his heart into shit. So his heart needed a pacemaker put in it permanently. So you had like a pack of cigarette size something underneath his skin in his chest that did all this shit for his heart, right? So he was getting that done literally right when I was getting out of prison. And so I was like going out to dinner with my dad and my little brother. And then like literally right after I was done with the halfway house, my dad flies me up to Alaska to do this fishing contest. It's like a $10,000 first prize that he had actually won at one point in his life. And that was like his claim to fame in Homer, Alaska. So the first time ever in Homer, Alaska's fishing derby history, the bay was frozen. So it got postponed a week. And it was basically like, you know, you had whoever caught the biggest fish in a certain amount of time would win. So that was what me and my dad did when I was a kid. I mean, fishing, like literally fishing, like hiking up into mountains to fish for fucking trout. You know, going to the coast, out in the ocean to fish for all sorts of seafood. So like my dad was a fisherman. That was my dad's thing. He was up in Alaska fishing, right? So, I mean, he's a lot of things, but at this point in his life, and a lot of points in his life, he's a fisherman. He would not take me fishing. His boat wasn't frozen in. His boat was in this shop. And he just wouldn't do it because in his mind, he wanted me to stay another fucking week. Well, I couldn't afford. I just got out of prison. Going on a 1-week vacation was already just buying the clothes to be outside in fucking Alaska because he didn't even have a car. So, I mean, I had to have like big, thick socks and boots and all this shit, right? Just to be able to fucking be there. And all that cost money, and, I just got out of prison. So, he just it was like I wanted to go fishing, and he wasn't going to take me fishing because he wanted me to stay another week, and he didn't want to go fishing because what if we caught the record fish when we were out there fucking around? And I was like, we don't have to fish for the salmon. Let's go fishing bottom fish. I always like bottom fishing better anyway. I always like bottom fish taste better than salmon anyway. So, no, he wouldn't take me fishing. So, you know what? And he was basically like a bum up there. He was like living in somebody else's trailer, not paying fucking rent. He would do odd jobs for people like electrical wiring. Right to work up in Alaska. Yeah, right to work for shit. Fucking, so, I mean, and he was, kind of like the town drunk that was the ex-town drunk. Because he couldn't drink anymore because his heart thing was out. His heart, and if he drank, he was going to die. But he'd still hang out in the bar and drink fucking coffee or whatever the fuck. And, his days were fucking numbered, right? Like, he had got that thing in his chest when I hadn't seen him since I was 16, right? And I was 35 or something, right? I mean, it had been a long time. I hadn't heard from him 34, 35 since I was 16, right? Not one word. So, and after that trip to Alaska, I was just like, I've really got no desire to have a fucking relationship with this guy. I mean, he's just a fucking somebody. I think he was a stoner, though. I think we got stoned, maybe. But anyway, I was just like, the guy wouldn't even take me fishing. Fuck this. I saw it all as an omen. So I just basically stopped communicating with him altogether. Like I hadn't talked to him for fucking almost 20 years or something. What's going to be he's going to be dead soon, and I've really got no desire of being pestered to fucking pay money to have him buried or some shit, so I just broke all contact off with him. Done. Which I already thought that was going to be the case after I was like 20 some years old and hadn't heard from him in years. I didn't think I'd ever heard from him again. The fact that my little brother had started talking to him again was freaking like mind-blowing. So, and you get out of prison and it's like, hey. And so I'd spend like holidays with my mom and she'd have me do little odd jobs. And my little brother found a new wife. He got custody of his kids, and the other girl disappeared. And my mother, she had a whole fucking apparently when I was in prison and before, she was just like a legendary alcoholic, like blackout drunk style. So, I mean, I drink often, but I used to black out drunk party that level, but I haven't done that shit forever. So I can't, and she was even older than I am now by a lot. So she was just totally out of control. My little brother had to have her sent to fucking detox or some shit. She got sent to detox, said the wrong shit in detox, and they didn't let her out. They didn't let her out until something. So all this transpired. And then, so then she's now all super anti-alcohol and all this. At that time, I'm drinking beer, you know. So my little brother hooked up with this girl, and they got married, and she adopted his kids, so they had custody. The other girl's totally out of the picture. And I was going over there and all this stuff, and like I went over there one time and I brought a 6-pack and like got a bunch of fucking grief from my little brother about how he quit drinking and all this, and mom and all this shit. And it's like, well, you know, mom got stupid on alcohol, so I can't have a fucking couple beers with the holidays. I mean, I'd literally have like 2. I'd buy a 6-pack and leave it there, or take it with now. So the years started going, a couple years go by, and my mom, my little brother, his new wife, and his kids, they're around each other all the time. Like my mom babysits the kids, and it's just like they're like what normal people would consider a family. So then there's me, and I really only, you know, it's like holidays. So, and that's it. And then I go to the holidays and I feel like a third wheel. Like, here's these people that my little brother's been with my mom straight the whole time. They've been inside. I mean, they went to Spain. I mean, when he went in the military and she lived in New York, they were obviously not living together, but so, you know, they had been like much closer. I went and lived with my dad. My little brother was with my mom the whole time. My mom left to Spain with my little brother. So they were a lot closer than I ever was. So, and basically it was like, I went to this family thing, and I just like I don't have kids. These kids are nice, but, you know, I haven't known them that long. I'm the uncle in prison, I think how I was referred to when they were growing up. So, you know, it's like, God, I gotta watch the way I talk. I can't have beer. And I was just starting to shoot porn. So it was like I couldn't even really talk about work or anything for that matter. Like, my life and their lives were so different that I just was like, God, I don't want to go through all this effort with these people. I don't want a relationship with them. I don't see, it's not a political thing. It's like I am taking my life and doing things and whatever, and nothing, I don't do anything bad or anything like that, but it's just like I have cut people out of my life my whole life that I don't have any kind of connection with. And that's kind of how I feel about my family. I don't really have a connection with them. I don't relate with them on any level. I don't and I'm sure, and they were calling me, and I just basically just blocked all their phone numbers and just stopped communicating with them. They are their own thing. They're always, and then here comes, me in the middle of, holidays, and it's just like, they're all just doing their thing, and then here I am. And, if I had like a wife and kids and all, and that was another big point of contention, I think, at the time, was I had this girlfriend for like 3 years that was going to family stuff, but I have never met a chick that I want to spend the rest of my life with. So I had this girlfriend, Amy, and I broke up with her. Then I started dating like 19-year-olds, and I literally took one of them over to my mom's house that I first hooked up with, that I thought I was going to stay with for like another 3 years or something, but she was just totally bullshitting me, and she had a whole other boyfriend. Play like a sucker. But anyway, big deal, no big deal. But so anyway, I just basically just grew away from my family. Like, I don't have any reasons. There's so much, there's really no negative with my little brother. There's really no bad blood. And back when I was just bullshitting with him and this, but then it's like, God, it's not just my little brother anymore. It's like he's got these 2 kids, and he's got this wife, and it's like, I'm not on the same level as the wife. I'm not really a kid person. And my mom, more than not, annoys and bugs me. And, you know, I'm just like, I spent so many years in prison putting up with shit I didn't want to put up with. I'm not going to go spend holidays and go shopping and do all this shit for, you know, for people that, you know, I don't dislike them, but it's not like I'm like, oh, I like you so much, you know, no. They're just people, and it's probably all me. But the bottom line is don't have a family now. I'm a self-imposed orphan, and it is wonderful. Thank you, like and subscribe. See you soon.